Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Entertainment Now podcast. My name is Nick.
I'm Ian.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, we always put the videos up on YouTube. Make sure you give us the old thumbs up and drop us a comment and do all that YouTube-y kind of stuff. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcatcher, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. Or if you get mad at Ian, you can just leave a 1-star. It's okay.
Or leave a 5-star review, and then you can say anything you want to me, and I will just take it.
Yeah? You take it like a man?
Take it however I need to. 5-star will get 5-star. You can,
five stars, and Ian will take it any way you want him to.
I have no problem whoring myself out.
Is that like an OnlyFans thing you're doing there, Ian? Or
no, but I'll tell you, I wish my feet were a little bit more attractive, because it sounds like I could make a lot of money on OnlyFans with some feet pics.
There's I think it's on like YouTube. I come across her videos every once in a while. I don't like follow her or anything like that, but she does OnlyPans, where it's like a cooking thing that she does, but it's got a funny play on the OnlyFans thing. But
sounds very wholesome.
Just cooking. I'm a big fat guy. I like food, so like
yeah, I suppose that'd be something to watch then.
Yeah. So what's been going on, man?
The world's burning, but other than that, I mean,
the world is burning. The world's always been burning. So
yeah, it seems like
burning for 75 years.
It seems like the fire's getting a little intense.
How is that?
Well, I don't want to get political, because it's not a political show. But,
whatever, I don't give a shit. We can talk whatever the fuck you want.
Well, I mean, you got war in Israel, you got war in Ukraine, you got the U.S. doesn't even have a fucking Speaker of the House.
Well, and
then the guy they've nominated is a fucking KKK member,
Jim Jordan. Well, you know who Jim Jordan is, don't you?
I do, yeah.
So Jim Jordan was one of the assistant coaches on the Ohio State wrestling team in like 87 to the early 90s. And there's a lawsuit going on because at that time, during his tenure as assistant coach, he had multiple male wrestlers go to him in private and disclose that one of the team doctors had been sexually assaulting team members.
Yeah, and didn't he tell them just to keep it quiet?
No, I think one of his responses was something along the lines of, "Well, it's none of my business."
Oh,
yeah. So you Republicans, they love the groomers, So
right. they like the real groomers. They're just not real groomers.
Yeah, they're anti-Disney because Disney apparently.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. If a drag queen reads to a child, that's bad. But if an actual doctor molests somebody, that's okay.
It's okay in their eyes.
Yeah.
Not my eyes.
No. Well, I mean, it's the same thing when they talk about like child trafficking and all that other stuff. But every time a vote comes up to ban child marriage, they seem to vote against it.
Yeah. Well, you also saw that what was that big movie, that the big anti-trafficking movie
that we've talked about, Sound of Freedom?
Yeah, Sound of Freedom. Well, one of the I guess like the main producer of that movie is now running for president in Mexico.
No. Yeah. Okay.
He's a big QAnon guy and said that liberals were drinking the blood of children and all this other stuff. But
well, I'm a liberal. I've never drank any blood. So
well,
they must not be inviting me to the clubs.
to the child eating club.
Yeah.
What else has been going on, man?
Oh, well, that's about it, really. Just sitting back and watching the world burn. Watching the world burn, man. That's all we can do.
Like I said, the world's been burning for a long time, but
yeah, but it's always burned in different stages and different levels. And this is one of the worst. This is the worst it's been in a long time.
Yeah. Well, on an equally terrible note, did you see the Record Store Day Black Friday list?
I did. It's lame. It's a lame list.
I thought, well, the Record Store Day Black Friday is never like huge.
True, but there's always at least one record where I'm like, you know what, I want that one, but there wasn't anything. When I went over it again, I didn't see anything I was
Yeah, there's a couple of things I want to pick up. I'm just kind of glancing over the list here. I was really kind of surprised how the pricing for records were actually really good.
Yeah.
I would say I was looking over the price listing before we started recording, and the vast majority of all the albums for Black Friday are all like under $30. So yeah, there's only like a small handful of records that I was really kind of shocked on how expensive they were going to fucking be.
Right.
So I guess that's a good thing, especially with the price of everything going up, and record collecting is not a cheap hobby as it is. So
no, it's not, but it's hopefully that'll be somewhat of an indicator for Record Store Day in April.
Maybe. Yeah, I doubt that.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You always accuse me of being negative. I'm trying to be positive here.
I know you are.
Trying to throw a little bit. Every time I throw a little bit of positivity, you're like, nah. And then the second I'm a little negative, you're like, you're such a negative Nancy.
I will say that. Obviously, I hope you're right. But it's hard. Record Store Day Black Friday has always been hard to push because the lists have never really been good. There's never been like a really great list.
No, but like I said, there's always at least one or two things that I'm willing to buy or want to buy, and it's just this year's
and it's a sheer volume thing too, because this year I think pretty much every Record Store Day Black Friday you get like right around 175, maybe a little bit less, plus or minus 15, 20 albums, is all the list is. And then the Record Store Day list in April is like 500 albums. So, it's just a sheer volume that, there's a lot of people that are really excited for the Black Friday list. So I think that there's nothing that's like super huge that's coming out, but there are a couple of releases that people have been looking. There's like a couple of live albums that people are excited for. And I think it's like, it's excitement like, oh yeah, it's good, I like to have that, but it's not like I must have this album kind of deal. No. The line is always, I remember like was it last year I worked Thanksgiving last year, so I got on at 7:00 Friday morning and went and got in line, and I think there was maybe 40 people ahead of me in line. And if you go to a Record Store Day at the same store in April and you get there at 8:00 in the morning,
you're around the block.
You're around the block.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a huge difference. Even at the store that I go to for Record Store Day, there's a huge difference in just the numbers of people they're in line all night. But there was something else I wanted to talk to you about. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
Okay. Then I got a question for you because
go ahead and ask.
Well, I've been meaning to look it up, but is the actor strike over?
No, it's not.
Okay, because I keep like hearing about production starting on things, but I'm like, I didn't think the actor strike was actually officially over yet.
I don't think it is, because I saw something this morning that the Deadpool 3 movie is Marvel is refusing to push back the release date for Deadpool 3, even though the actor strike is still ongoing.
Okay. Huh. Is it done filming? I wasn't sure if it was done filming yet or not.
I think it might be in post-production. I guess I got my computer up. I can look real quick here while you talk amongst yourselves.
The Russian Revolution was neither Russian nor revolution.
You always
change my mind.
You always say the same fucking thing.
That's because I got that from Coffee Talk with Linda Richmond, Saturday Night Live. For those of you elderly people out there like us, when Mike Myers was on SNL, he did a skit called Linda Richmond, Coffee Talk with Linda Richmond, and she would do, something would come up, and she'd say, talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. And that was one of the topics she gave.
Why do I not see? I wonder if hold on. It is in. Oh, apparently it doesn't want to tell me. This is. Hold on. What were we talking about? Deadpool 3. It is still filming.
Oh, okay.
Captain
So yeah,
America: Brave New World is in post production,
okay.
but they're still filming Deadpool 3. They're probably, if it's coming out in May, they're probably just doing like reshoots on stuff. I would assume that a vast majority of the movie has been shot at this point if they're sticking to that May 3rd release date for that movie.
So,
especially if Captain America: Brave New World comes out, just a couple of months after, and that's already in post production.
right.
Well,
the business model for Deadpool's always been a little bit more independent, so like smaller budget. In fact, I think
I doubt this is going to be a small budget.
It's hard to say if they stuck with the business model, but they usually need it. Even with a smaller movie, they're probably still going to need at least 12 months for special effects.
Yeah,
usually. But I guess, I mean, the special effects houses weren't on strike, so they could have been working on all that stuff, during the strike. So
that's why I said they're sticking to that May 3rd deadline. So I mean, they got to be pretty damn close. But you figure you got Ryan Reynolds, he's gonna have a big get paid a shitload for it. Hugh Jackman's in it, so he's gonna be making a bunch of money too. Jennifer Gardner's gonna make a bunch of money. So like the money that we're gonna pay to their actors is gonna take up a lot of money. So there's no way this is like a smaller budget movie.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I don't know. I know the first one was really low budget, and that was part of the plan. It wasn't meant to be a big blockbuster superhero movie. It just happened to work out that way.
Yeah, the budget for the first Deadpool movie was $58 million.
Yeah, for a superhero movie. I mean, come on.
It's just tiny. Deadpool 2 was 110 million.
All right, well, that's more in par with your bigger budgets. I mean, it might be lower end bigger budget, but
yeah,
I think 150 million is probably where they kind of shoot for these days. Unlike Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, where they shot for like 350 million.
Yeah. I thought it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. I can't wait till it comes out on Blu-ray, but it's just too high of a budget. It's not going to make it. It would have to make $1 billion to be a success, and there's just no way it was going to happen.
No way it's going to happen. I will say that, like, I was a big fan of the first season of Loki.
Okay, I haven't watched any of the new ones yet, so
I watched the first 2 episodes last night, and I don't know what to think of it. Okay. Like, I wasn't like wowed right away. I think I don't know. I'm not a fan of the direction of the first 2 episodes. So
okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's.
Well, I was thinking about
hopefully it gets better.
I was planning on going back and rewatching the first season again, because I've only watched it once when it first came out. So I wanted to.
I don't think it's necessary.
Oh no, it's probably not necessary.
I don't think because they do like a really good recap at the beginning of the first episode. So I mean, it's not necessary to kind of go back through.
No, but I kind of wanted to do it anyway, just because I haven't watched it since it came out.
Yeah, and I really loved the first season. Yeah, I feel like the first 2 episodes have been a disappointment to me so far. So yeah,
I'll have to see. I mean, that's not always a guarantee that the season itself is going to suck.
No, but, I mean, it's still going to end up being a great season. It's what, 8 episodes? There's 6 or 8 episodes.
Yeah, I think. Well, whatever the first season was is probably what they're going with the second. So I think this first one was 8.
I think it was 8. Let's see. This is going to be 6.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe the first one was 6 then too. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was.
So
let me go back and look.
I mean, 6 is fine. I mean, 6 to 10. 6 to 10, I think, is your sweet spot. 6 is seems like a little less unless you got not enough story to tell in 10 episodes or 8 episodes. Then it's fine, because then you don't want to fill it. But I much prefer a season that's like 8 to 10. Because we grew up with seasons that were 25 episodes. And granted, a lot of that was filler, but I would say on a decent show, you would have out of say 22 to 24 episodes, you might have 6 or 7 filler episodes, which still leaves 16 really good episodes. So, I mean, it just, not having a lot of episodes doesn't necessarily make it good. And I think 6 is really kind of bare minimum. I think you really should be pushing for more like an 8 to 10.
And my thing is, like, if you're only going to do a 6-episode season, you've got to do hour-long episodes.
Oh, absolutely. They should be doing that anyway.
These are only 40-minute long episodes.
Right. Well, 40 minutes is fine if it's 8 to 10. I think 40 to 42 minutes is again kind of a sweet spot if you've got like 8 to 10 episodes.
Yeah. If you're only doing 6 though, they got to be 10. They got to be hour-long episodes.
Right, because you're waiting a whole fucking week for, I mean, 40 minutes is better than it's been because there's some series that have like 30-minute episodes. Mandalorian is famous for that.
Yeah.
32-minute episodes, and you've got to wait a whole fucking week till the next episode. If you're going to do 32-minute episodes and only do 6, just drop all of them at once.
Yeah.
Just drop the whole season at once. Netflix still does it with some of their stuff, and some of their stuff is still, hour long.
Yeah. They're and I want to say the episodes are actually like 40, I think they're like 48 minutes. But you got to remember, like the last 10 minutes of the episode is
credit. Well, credits. Not to mention, it's like 7 minutes of credits and like 2 minutes of recap at the beginning. So so you got to shave about say 8 to 10 minutes off of every episode because no one watches the credits.
That's why I said it's about 40 minutes.
Yeah, so no one watches the credits, and I never watch the recaps. I skip over it because chances are I either just watched it or it was just a week ago. It wasn't. I've got my the only time
I watched the recap at the beginning of the first episode because I didn't remember everything that happened last season.
Right.
So it kind of brings you up on all the big points for what happened.
Right. So I don't know. To me, it's I don't know if they've fully understood that and gotten that idea yet, but maybe they're coming close. Who knows? Ahsoka did all right there. Every episode except for one was over 40 minutes.
Yeah, I still haven't watched it. I've been tied up watching Game of Thrones. So
I'm gonna say this. I loved almost everything about Ahsoka, except for the fact that it ends on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And I only don't like that because it's universally loved, but only by critics and a small portion of the fans. The rest of the fans are just, and it's really just the haters, people who are going to hate it anyway. Yes. But apparently it didn't get the views that Disney wanted. So there's a possibility we might not get a second season of this.
I think you will.
I don't know. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk about canceling Dave Filoni's movie too, which is tied into all of this. The Mandalorian and Ahsoka. So, and I think honestly,
I think Disney already has too much tied up into it.
Disney is on life support right now.
I wouldn't go there.
I would. Disney is suffering. At least if you believe all the reports that you're seeing, and I'm not talking about YouTube channels. I'm talking about like Forbes did an article about how Disney is bleeding money and bleeding shareholders,
that's because that's why they've been laying a bunch of people off.
Right.
They'll right the ship. I've got no. Either that or Apple will buy them.
Well, that's not necessarily a good thing either.
That's not a bad thing. I don't.
It is a bad thing.
Is it?
It is a bad thing. Yeah. It is for those of us who, if you want Marvel, they're either gonna restart all of Marvel, which is the dumbest idea you can fucking do. You don't think so?
Not at all.
I don't know why a tech company needs to be dealing with entertainment.
They already do.
Barely. What does Apple TV have? They have like 6 shows.
Well, they got more than that. They've been heavily investing into Apple TV Plus here in the last like 6 months. They've got
with original content. Original content.
Yes.
Because their original content has not been stellar.
I mean Ted Lasso's been fucking huge.
Let me rephrase that. Quality wise, it's been okay, but there's no volume there. And it takes them forever to get a new season out. which a lot of
takes everyone a whole year to get a season.
It took them 2 years to do a second season of Foundation, and they greenlit it right during the first season.
Yeah.
That show with Jennifer Aniston. Didn't that have like a huge gap? And that doesn't even have special effects. Why did it take 2 years?
It did. That was because of Jennifer Aniston's schedule. Oh. Is why I think there was a big gap between seasons.
All she was doing was that show. She hasn't been in anything else.
I don't know. I don't know what else has been going on, and I don't know. But yeah, they've definitely been heavily investing into their content. Like I said, Ted Lasso is probably one of the biggest streaming shows of the last couple of years.
Yeah, I know it's quite popular.
It won a couple of Emmys, and it was a huge show.
Right. But it also, you start to wonder, so say Apple buys Disney, do they just incorporate all the Disney stuff into Apple TV, or do they keep Disney Plus and then you have to get Apple TV? And, that's another problem that people are running into. The studios are running into.
First off, I will say that I doubt Disney will ever be in a shape that someone will buy them.
Right.
Because you have to remember, it's not just Disney. It's the Disney entertainment side, it's the Disney theme park side, right. It's the sports side of it with ABC and ESPN.
Well, that's definitely on the market, by the way. ABC is definitely on the market.
Yeah,
they've been shopping that around.
And
they're shopping Hulu around now too,
which they should.
Yeah, I like Hulu. I think out of all the networks, it's one of the few that I actually I don't say I watch as often.
I watch Hulu a lot more than I watch Netflix. I rarely, if ever, watch Netflix.
Yeah, there's only a couple shows on Netflix I go back to, and it's really just some of their original content that keeps me there.
So. Yeah, I think Cobra Kai is the last thing I watched on Netflix.
And that's only got one more season.
Yeah.
Same with Stranger Things, only has one more season.
Yeah, they
lost their exclusive deal with Mike Flanagan, so his Fall of the House of Usher miniseries, which is just dropped on Netflix and I haven't watched yet, is the last one of those it's going to be, because he's done a series of little miniseries, group of miniseries that have been quite good. But he's exclusive with Amazon Prime now.
Is he?
I shouldn't say he's exclusive, but they have a first look deal with anything he does.
Gotcha.
So
Amazon's been kind of stepping up lately too. They've really been investing in a lot of stuff.
Did you watch the Rings of Power?
I watched the first 2 episodes, I think, and it didn't pull me in enough to. I think it was around the same time that House of the Dragon came out. So
yeah, I think so too. In fact, I know it did, because I remember people talking about both. I see. I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, but I'm not that big of a fan where I can bring myself to invest. See, I mean, to be fair, I haven't even finished watching the Hobbit trilogy, so Lord of the Rings and that franchise isn't something that's really calling to me. That's why I haven't watched yet. But
I'm a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings. It's one of my favorite movie series, one of my favorite franchises. And even it was even a little too nerdy for me. So
I think it's kind of Power.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't necessarily bother me, but I just think it's storytelling.
I think they're just getting too far into the weeds with the story, and that's the issue with it. I don't know. I will watch it eventually, but it's on my to be watched list, but I haven't gotten around to finish it. I mean, it's been so long since I watched the first episode or 2. I'll have to go back from the beginning and rewatch it anyway. But I probably should, since I just watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy within the last couple of months.
Right.
So
Which I've been meaning to do a rewatch, because it's been several years since I've done a rewatch. But if I do, I'll start with the Hobbit series, because I need to finish that anyway.
Yeah.
So
actually, that's what I did. I watched the 3 Hobbit movies probably about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy within the last couple of months. So
interesting.
But I will say that since the last time we did an episode of Entertainment Now, I began watching Game of Thrones again. I think it's the third time I watched Game of Thrones. And within the last 2 weeks, I'm now halfway through season 5.
Wow.
So
you're almost caught up to me in just 2 weeks. Would have taken me almost 3 years.
More than 3 years.
More than 3 years to do.
More than 3 years.
And I'm still not done.
Yeah. Well, because when we were talking about it last, we talked about we would do an episode of the podcast once you're done watching the series, so we can kind of talk about it. And I was like, well, and at that time you said you'd be done in the next month and a half. And I was like, well, a month and a half, that'll give me enough time to rewatch the series.
And that's when I was on my strongest binge. And I think at that point I was only like season 3, but I was like, oh yeah, I'll be done, because I was like in the groove. And I think I made it to season 5 from that point, but then I stopped.
Well, no, I'm talking about that's what you said just like 2 weeks ago, and you said you were like midway through season 6, but you'd be done in a month and a half. So I was like, oh, right. Okay.
Well, we were talking about doing a Game of Thrones episode like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But I haven't moved any forward, but I'm in season 6, so I'm a little farther ahead than you, at least as far as that goes in your current run.
Yeah, I think I've got I'm almost done with season 5, episode 5. So but the end of season 5 is where it kind of gets a little off the path, because the books run out at the end of season 5.
Right. Well, I mean, like I've seen clips, because clips keep popping up in my
because it's the end of season 5 where they kill Jon Snow at the end of season 5, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's where the books end.
Okay.
But he's still writing the last book. He's been writing the last book for a decade now, so.
Right.
But he's gone off and written other things.
Yeah.
While he's still working on that book, so I don't know.
Yeah. Stephen King puts out 3 books a year.
Oh, I know that.
And I would say the vast majority of them are at least decent.
I know, and he does, and there's already a story to go off of because of the series. But
right. Well, I mean, I could see him not wanting to do that, not to copy what they did, but
I'm sure he won't. But I'm sure he will incorporate enough of it, I think.
Yeah, you never know. Especially with the fan reception to the final season, at least. I don't think he's going to do any of that.
I don't know. It'd be interesting, because I know that at least the interviews I've seen, that the Jon Snow, Dany, lineage there, their journey together, that will all happen. But
right. See, I haven't seen that yet, but I know where that journey ends.
Yeah,
at least in the TV series.
So finish watching the fucking series.
Yeah. You know me, the more you tell me to do it, the less likely it is I'm going to do it.
Then don't fucking do it, Ian. God damn it, don't fucking do it.
Okay, I won't.
I'm sure in a year we'll be talking about this too, and then at that time I'll say, all right, well, for the 5th time, I'll watch Game of Thrones, and we'll talk about it at the end.
Who knows? I might surprise you. I might finish it this weekend.
I doubt that.
I doubt it too. There's other things I have planned I want to watch.
I was watching this video. That's something. Oh, damn cat got down here. I watched something. I think it was like a clip on YouTube, or maybe on Instagram. But there's this lady I see on there where she talks about like conspiracy theory stuff. Well, actually, she reacts to other people's like crazy conspiracy theories.
I think I might have seen her. Younger girl?
Yeah, I guess she's some kind of actress and comedian or something like that.
I don't know, but I think I've seen maybe 1 or 2 of her videos too.
Okay, but she was like reacting to this video where this guy was talking about like ancient civilizations. And I guess this does kind of tie into entertainment a little bit, but it's called the Silurian hypothesis. Is that how you say it? It's off of the Doctor Who thing, is how they.
Oh, the lizard people, yeah.
Is that how you pronounce it though? Silurian?
Silurian, yeah.
Okay, whatever. But the hypothesis is, and this is just recently, this is all just came out since like 2018, is that it's possible that we are not the first advanced species on Earth.
Correct. At least
so
based on the Doctor Who thing.
Well, the way that the hypothesis actually goes is that, the Earth has been habitable for over 4 billion years. And if all life on Earth ceased today, like if a bomb dropped and we all died, there's no one left over. In about 500,000 years, there would be no evidence of us ever existing. Like
Correct.
everything would just be gone.
Correct.
So it's very possible if, 500,000 years in the lifespan of Earth is, pretty short. So it's very possible that there were, other industrialized societies prior to ours that were, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years ago and died off, and there's just no record of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was kind of interesting that, because
it's possible. I mean, it's not very likely. I mean, we can find fossils of creatures from 65 million years ago. So
yeah,
you would think that we might have found fossils for other organisms as well.
Yeah, but you have to think like a majority of the area that we dig down on the surface of the Earth is only like, at least from what I was reading, like 2.5 million years down.
Okay.
So if there's something past that, then we probably wouldn't. It'd be. Is it possible that we would find something? Yeah, but it's unlikely. But I mean, it's also the whole hypothesis is unlikely. Also, is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? Probably not.
Well, and more importantly, is it provable?
Yeah.
Is it always just going to be a hypothesis or an idea? If there's no possible way we could prove it without jumping in a time machine and flying back, a billion years, I don't really know if it really matters much.
It doesn't. It doesn't. But
well, I mean, it could if there was a way to prove it, or if there was a way to at least find evidence to support the possibility even more, because you need a whole lot of evidence to prove it. But if you start finding like little things and go, well, this doesn't make sense, this has to be this, or this is potentially this.
Yeah.
Then there's a reason to pursue it, because, if that's true, then we should all feel a little bit better about the whole idea of us disappearing, because the human race is going to go away
eventually.
We are not long for this world. There's things we can do to prevent it, but we're not doing it.
Yeah. Well, like they always said, like if you take the entire history of Earth as a like 12-hour clock, the human existence has been like the last 5 minutes. Like,
well, it's been 5 minutes on the clock.
Yes, 5 minutes on the clock. Yes, right. That's what I mean.
Or did you say human existence or the existence of the planet?
The existence of the planet is a 12-hour clock. We're 5 minutes of that 12-hour clock.
Right. I mean, there's things that could happen where the planet will disappear too. I mean, the planet could be destroyed too.
Eventually it will.
Eventually it will, because our sun is dying. But, that's millions and millions of years from now. But there's things that could happen, celestial things that could happen that could take this planet out, and none of it will matter.
Yeah.
But if there's evidence that civilizations have risen and fallen that aren't human, then we could say, well, we our stamp is there, we've done it. We did it to this version of primates evolved to that point.
Yeah.
Just like potentially that version of reptilian, whatever.
I mean, it doesn't even necessarily have to be reptilian. I mean, there could have been human existence previously.
Primate
that just died off.
It wouldn't be human.
I mean, it could. I mean, it's not.
It would be human adjacent, but it wouldn't be the same. We wouldn't have been the same species, because evolution would have changed. So, especially over that amount of time.
Yeah.
So it would have been maybe a different type of primate that he had evolved.
I don't know. It's just interesting. I don't know, when she started talking about that stuff, I was like, hey, what is it? So I started like looking into it, and I was like, oh, it's kind of interesting. I mean, because really, if you think about it, like, just for like the regular average Joe human, in 3 generations, you're going to be completely forgotten about anyway.
Theoretically.
I mean,
unless you do something that gets you in the history books.
Yeah, or you do podcasts and YouTube channels.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I suppose there's some um, life expectancy for that too.
Yeah, I'm sure, but outside
So,
of that, like you figure like you don't know who your for the most part, you don't know who your grandparents' parents were. You know, most people don't,
uh, I knew a couple of them.
or
You might.
even your grandparents' parents. It's like I'm saying,
Well, that's what
like
I'm talking about.
three or so
Right.
generations down the line,
My great.
you're forgotten. You're just a picture on someone's wall. You
Right.
know.
I know my I know my great grandparent, my great grandmother and great grandfather on my dad's side, and I knew on my dad's side. I didn't know them on my grandmother's side. Uh, I knew my vaguely because they all died before I was like 3. But my dad's grandpa, my grandpa's dad, I was 6 when he died. I knew him a
Yeah.
little bit, so. But their
That's what I'm
parents,
saying.
not
Though
at all, not at
that's what I'm
all.
saying. Like after 3 generations,
Yeah,
you're
yeah. I would
basically, for the
say,
most part, you're gone out of existence. Like you said, you're just a picture on someone's wall. All your stuff would be gone. Everything you ever worried about is irrelevant and gone.
yeah.
Stressed out. That car you saved money for years and years and took so much pride in getting will be in a junkyard somewhere. And
Or even just completely scrapped and recycled.
yeah,
Um, yeah, but that's
not
kind of
not to have
why.
like this dark this
Well,
dark frame of thinking, but
it's not. It doesn't have to be dark because as long as you do your best to make the life you have, doesn't necessarily have to be meaningful because that's asking an awful lot. But it at least a
it has to
decent,
be make it meaningful to you.
right, meaningful to yourself and those around you, and you don't be an asshole. I think that's
Well,
the best any
fuck
of
you,
us can ask.
fuck you.
Well,
I'm
I mean,
an asshole
seriously,
all the time.
I know, but seriously, if you treat everyone around you with kindness as best you can, and
Yeah,
you do your best within the realms of your capacities, I think that's the best any one of us can ask. That's a life well lived. Sure, there's a lot more you can do, but at its core, I think if we do that, we're fine. Because
yeah,
there's nothing after. There was nothing before us. There was nothing. Before we got here, there was nothing. After we leave, there's nothing. You know,
yeah.
at least while we're here, we can do the best we can. That's all. I think that's all any of
That's
us can ask for.
life lessons from Ian. No,
Indeed.
but I mean, because that's what I was talking about too. Is like, people stress out over things that really they have no control over. And like I said, you know, typically, generally, in the matter of months, resolve themselves anyway.
Right. Well, that's part of the nature of humanity. I mean, we have emotions, we have feelings, and most of those feelings
Some of us
come,
have feelings, some of us don't.
but the vast majority of those feelings are coming from a lesser evolved part of our brains.
Yeah.
So, in the grand scheme of things, I think you can't really stop from worrying about the little shit and stressing about it, but you know, don't let it ruin your life. That's the
Yeah.
key.
I will say that I was watching something else today. Oh, it was a video. I don't know. I think it was shot out west somewhere, but they're saying it's evidence that Bigfoot actually exists. Have you seen this video? There's just like this couple. They were on a train, like out in like the middle of nowhere. Their train was going through like out west somewhere, like out in Colorado or somewhere out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like on the side of this mountain, and they were taking pictures out of the window of the train. And of course, my question is always, why did you start taking a video at this time when you were taking
Right.
pictures before? But she got they got this video, and like it's way off. Like it's way off in the distance, but you see this, like it looks like a human-sized ape walking upright,
Uh-huh.
and then he stops and he sits down on the ground, like on a rock or something like that. It's just
Oh,
like really weird. So, but they're saying it possibly Bigfoot, but I never believed in that kind of shit. But I think more than likely is somebody. It's a complete set. Like because I automatically think like everything I see on the internet is a fucking setup.
Right. Again, it's one of those things. It's possible. There wouldn't be any evolutionary connection between humans and Bigfoot, so it wouldn't be like the missing link, even though there's no such thing as a missing link. So would it be fascinating if they were to prove it or find evidence of it? Sure, but it has no bearing on anything, because it would still be an extremely primitive life form that, for its own sake, is probably better that it stays hidden, because otherwise it's just going to end up in a fucking zoo or a laboratory anyway. So I'm not so big on the whole Bigfoot theories and stuff.
I'm just highly skeptical of it, because
it's possible. There's no reason to think that there are species of
it's possible, but I think it's highly improbable, right, to have a species that big exist for that long and not be found. Like, I understand, like, a lot of the newer species and stuff we find are like in the ocean, where we don't fucking
right. Well, there's a lot of land up, especially in the Northern Territories, that is completely unexplored, and it's all woods. I mean, so there's areas where it's possible that there are larger creatures that we have no knowledge of. But like I said, for their sake, I kind of hope we never find out, because humans have a tendency to be very cruel with our studies, and we tend and hell, for the say we find Bigfoot, oh my god, there's tons of Bigfoot. For the first 5 years of it, it's just going to be humans going out and shooting them for trophies.
Probably. Ooh, have you had Bigfoot meat?
I don't know if I could do that. Too close. It would be too close to eating, because I would assume, based on the hypothesized description of Bigfoot, it is relatively in the primate family. I mean, we don't eat primate. At least most humans don't eat primate. No, it's because it's a little too close to cannibalism.
People eat monkey brains, at least.
I know, but that's I guess maybe if you do, because those are tiny monkeys, they're like spider monkeys and stuff. There's not as much of a genetic link between us. But
stop flinging your feces. I want to eat your brain.
That's why we do it. We're just jealous because we can't fling our feces.
I mean, we can, but
right. It's frowned upon, though. It's I want to do it with pride. I don't want to be shamed. I don't want to be shamed for my feces throwing.
Speaking of feces throwing, I know this is not really like throwing, but it's feces related.
Yeah. Okay.
We had a patient. This is not one of my patients. I didn't have him, but this is a couple of weeks.
Disclaimer: there's no names. There are no names.
No, there is no HIPAA violation here. Yeah. But the patient, like you understand this, what a urinal, the size of a urinal is, right?
Yeah, the male urinal. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. He shit into a urinal. Like,
did he make a mess?
Oh, you got some shit on the floor, but
okay. I was gonna say, if he did it without making a mess, that's pretty cool.
I was like, it was funny though, because we were having this like big long conversation about like, well, which way did he go? Did he try to go from the front? Because the urinal is like curved, so maybe he tried to go from the front, or did he try to go from the back? Like,
I know you didn't mean to say it, but you said cunt.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
Yeah. So I don't know if he went from the front or back to try to shit in this urinal, but I was like, hey man, that's some talent to shit in a urinal.
Would, you know what? To be honest, I wouldn't even try. I would be like, just give me that garbage can over in the corner if it's that.
Well, that was like, I don't understand. It was like there's a garbage can in the room. There's like basins in the room. Like, couldn't you found something better than a urinal to shit into?
Yeah,
I guess not.
Well, I mean, the answer is yes, he could have. Is the real question is, did he care, or
that I don't know.
Maybe he was like, man, I got a shit. I wonder if I can make it into that.
Yeah, I don't know what. Like I said, I wasn't even like in that
Yeah.
area that happened in. I just happened to like walk through like right
Yeah.
after it all happened.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
walked into it.
it could have just been a challenge. He was challenging himself, you know,
Let's see if I could do this.
yeah, why not? Hey, that's how inventions are created. That's how
I guess, but
innovation comes
shit
about.
into something bigger. Like there was a guy yeah, that this is like a few years ago now, because it was before I was a nurse, but there was a guy that shit into a sink one night.
Yeah.
At least that's
Well,
bigger. At
and
least you
it's
can sit
easier,
there.
and you can wash it down if it's as long as it's soft enough.
Yeah,
Well, you
I
know what I mean.
don't.
You can get the chunks out, but you can wash it. It's washable.
Well, actually, I think that guy tried to shit into a basin, and then that wasn't going to work. So he tried to get over to the sink, but he instead shit all over the floor, and then he also shit in the sink.
Right.
And then the nurses had to go in there and clean everything up.
Uh,
Yeah,
I
good
think
times.
I think if I was in the hospital, and I mean, as a nurse, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't it just be better just to shit in your pants in terms of ease to clean up?
Oh, easy to clean up. I mean,
If you can't
eh,
make it, I'm saying I'm either going to shit on the floor or I'm going to shit in my pants, kind of a thing.
I would say that depending on this is not what people want to listen to, but it depends on how liquid it is.
Well,
if
sometimes you
it's
don't know until it
if
starts
it's
coming
if
out.
it's like a river, I've seen like a river of feces in a bed before, like a lake of feces. That's not fun to clean up. I would rather you just shit on the floor with that, and then
Okay.
we just put some
Mm.
pads down to clean it all up. But
Well, I'm gonna let you know. The only time I'm ever going to be in the hospital is if I'm unconscious and probably dying anyway.
yeah,
So I won't really have much of a choice in the matter because
yeah.
I won't go if I'm consciously aware that I have to go. Just won't
Well,
happen
that's why is that?
because I'd rather die at
So
home.
so so if you get in a car accident
That
and
would
you're
be
like half mangled, you're not going to be unconscious.
yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily be in the right state of mind to say no. Like if I'm mangled, they're not gonna take my word for it. They're not gonna say, okay, we'll leave your mangled body on the side of the road. They
Yeah,
just wouldn't do that. So that's kind of my point. It would be the only way I'm going is if I don't really have a choice in the matter.
gotcha.
So
So you retract the part about being unconscious. It just
right.
you'll only go if you're forced to go.
We'll say not necessarily unconscious, but not in the right frame of mind to say no. How's that?
So if you have some like kind of like penetrating injury or something like that, you like
Yeah.
slipped and fell on the remote.
Honestly, I don't know how that eggplant got up there.
I will say that like so I'm friends with a lot of nurses on Facebook, and there's this week was Nurses Week,
Happy
and
Nurses Week.
a lot of people I saw, not a lot of, but there was several people that posted things like, "Hey, just to let you know, for Nurses Week, we don't want you to put things up your ass." Like,
Right. I saw one that says, no matter what you think we're going to believe, we know it did not get up there by accident.
yes. I
So just
slipped
be
and fell on
honest.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just be honest. It's we know it got up there. We know how it got up there.
Yeah. I will say that we haven't had anyone come in with anything up their butt in a while.
No, people might be learning. You got to
Maybe.
put you
Probably
got
not.
to make sure you got a handle on it because it creates a suction.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the guy that got was a cucumber up his butt and then he tried to get it out with a drill. He,
That makes no sense.
like, I think he was thinking if he got the drill, the bit into the bottom of the cucumber, he could
You could
like
just pull it out.
pull it out. But man, there's way too much suction to be able to do that with. So he just made a mess of his butt.
Right. And this is not just butts, people, because men, for some reason, some of them like to put things elsewhere where it's, you know,
Up
I'm
up their
speaking
urethra.
yes, yes.
There was a guy that stuck like a bunch of crayons up his urethra. I think that's what it was. He stuck crayons up his urethra, and his body heat melted the crayons inside of him.
Yeah.
I don't know if that happened in our hospital or I just heard that like that story like they're second or third hand.
Yeah, there was a situation at our hospital. I don't remember what it was, but it was like marbles or something like that.
How do you like shove marbles at the end of that thing?
I guess if you lube them up properly, you get them in there, you push them in.
I guess that's true.
I mean, they're
like
smooth.
at least with crayons, it's like a crayon has like a pointy tip. So if you lube it up enough, you can like slide it in there. Like,
I don't know.
With a marble, it's like just banging the fucking thing in there.
What are those little like the little hammers they use to test your reflexes?
Yeah. Yeah, like at least like I said, with a crayon, it's got like a tip on there, so you can like work it in there. I don't know.
I forgot what nurse told me. There's they worked at a different hospital and someone came in with a glow stick stuck in there.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Because there's probably the guy was probably tripping and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be fucking hilarious. I'm gonna make my dick glow." Like
it's like it could be like a flashlight,
around, doing like the helicopter in the dark.
Right, yeah, like a flashlight.
It's a human glow stick. Like,
yeah. Oh. Hey, you know what? No judgments here. Do what you want, but just remember when if you do it wrong and you come into the ER, just tell the truth because we already know,
and we're gonna laugh at you.
Well, we'll laugh behind your back because we're polite,
professionals.
But always know that we know it did not happen by accident. So just be honest. We'll take care of you the best we can, and maybe not do it if you're not sure how to do it.
Yeah, yeah. And just remember, if you stick anything inside you, make sure it has a handle that you can pull it back out.
Right.
Yes. The lessons. Look at all the lessons we've been teaching today, Ian.
I know. It's
lessons about life, lessons about pulling things out of your butt. You know,
arguably of equal importance.
Yeah. All right, I guess so. We never got to our topic, so we'll save our topic for next week.
Well, we could do this topic. We can do anytime.
Yeah, but any questions or comments, you email us at entnowpod@gmail.com. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you give us a thumbs up and all that YouTube-y kind of fun stuff. And that's about it. Ian, anything else?
No. Talk to y'all later.
Yeah, peace.
Play my role, let me tell you about it. This shit right here, man, I'm about it. Only real niggas reside around me. Yo, lady, drop a guard around me. Dip like I know you can, bitch. Show me the ropes like we in the rain.